very fortunate in that regard, but you have to continue to level up too, I think, as an owner.
Yes.
What got you here isn't going to get you there for the next 5 or 10 years. So I think constantly investing in yourself.
Yes.
And that's important. I think too, as women, we don't tend to do that as much as we should.
Welcome to the Dispatch on Purpose. I'm your host, Amy Dahl, and I am excited to have you join us today where we talk about leadership, generosity, wealth building, and family success. And I get to introduce you today to a very dear friend and a fellow business owner and somebody I love, Crystal Cameron Schaad of Crystal Palate. Welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm so honored to be part of it today.
I am honored to have you here. So we go back to pre-business ownership days,
yes,
both of us, and you own this beautiful store, but tell us how you got started. So tell us a little bit about yourself first. We are in East Beach, and you're an East Beach resident.
Yes, we are. So the shop dates back to 2017. We opened about 4 days before Christmas, which was a little crazy.
Yes, I remember those days.
It took a while to get our licenses and everything. That was not the plan, but that's what happened. And so we opened December 21st of 2017, and we've been here ever since. So celebrating 8 years, and just grateful to be embedded in such a wonderful, hospitable community.
Yes. Oh, you have your location is prime.
Yeah, we're right in the heart of East Beach. So we're right on Pretty Lake Avenue, right across from Longboards across the street. And so we're right on the periphery of East Beach, but part of the East Beach neighborhood.
Yes, which is awesome. Yeah. Okay, so tell us about your shop.
Okay. Well, wine has always been a passion of mine. It's something that when I look back over my trajectory, I had spent some time as a news anchor. I also worked in politics, and I kind of joke around 2 of the most hated professions today drove me to drink. No, I'm just kidding.
That's very appropriate.
But I just kind of kid around about that. But it's kind of true, right? So I make a lot more friends talking about wine, and it's always been when I was in college, I started having an affinity for wine. My dad introduced me to a lot of great wines when I was old enough, of course, at 21. But I worked in a wine bar when I was in college, and I got to taste some beautiful wines and learn the stories. Because when you think about wine, it's not just something to sit around and drink. It's something to experience and share the stories and the labor and the love that went into every single drop that's in the glass. So as a former journalist, I really love sharing how every single sip has a story. But the shop concept, I opened Crystal Palate. I started the business actually back in 2014 as a consulting and private event business.
Yeah.
Then after a few years, I realized there was an opportunity to do more. And we were already living here in East Beach, and this place had become available. And we were walking by with my husband, Tom, and our dog, and I kind of peeked in the window, really with a desire to open a classroom. I want to be a wine educator, which we are. And I'm like, oh, this would be perfect for wine classes and for retail, and to be able to offer something special, a special amenity to our community here in East Beach. But, it's interesting how that was not part of the 10-year plan. It was just something that I think God has slowly unveiled the next steps, and here we are. So
it's funny how it falls that way.
It does.
And you have a real knack. So before the shop opened, because it would have been, you did a wine pairing for my 40th birthday, which my husband surprised me with.
Yeah, that was.
I was thinking about it this morning.
Is that 10, 11 years ago?
It was, because I'm 48. Yeah, so it was 8 years ago.
Right when I first got started.
Yes.
Yeah, so kind of the catalyst for it. As I mentioned, I was in broadcasting. I was a news anchor, spent a lot of time in that industry, worked in politics, also worked in crisis communication. So I had a lot of different roles, but in that media
and your husband's still in media.
And my husband's still in media. He's the news anchor over at Wavy TV, so you can catch him every night. He's your smiling face every night.
Quite often.
Yes. But back in 2012, I had some health issues. And long story short, I ended up having heart surgery. And I remember Tom, we had just gotten married about a year before, and he said, I don't want to bury my wife.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? You're working so hard, and I'm worried about you. And then within a week or two, a very dear friend basically said the same thing. Said, I feel like if you don't resign from your position, I feel like you're going to end up, I'm going to end up going to your funeral. And that was just a gut punch for me, because I cared so much about what I did, but I was working all the time. And there was a bigger purpose. I think God had a bigger purpose for me than what I was supposed to be doing. Didn't know what that was, but during that time, I was taking sommelier courses. I was studying wine as a mere hobby. It was not something that I thought I'd ever do as a career. And then things just started unfolding. And when we first moved to East Beach in 2014, these spaces were not available. They became open, and then I was like, oh, never in a million years. If you asked me 10, 15 years ago, will you own a small business? It was never part of the plan.
Yeah.
But sometimes, our plan is not always the best plan. It's
Yeah.
For me, it's always God's plan. It's always the best plan.
Yeah, I remember sitting on a couch with you in Norfolk when we were talking. I was thinking about buying the real estate brokerage. It was about the same time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because it was 8 years ago it presented itself to me.
Yeah.
And was not part of my plan either. And we were both praying through, like, do we take this step? It's a huge leap. And sometimes it takes those, it's a common denominator amongst business owners that I see. There's a fear in jumping in, but it takes that, you know, it took heart surgery for you to say, I've got to change something, or, you know, to take the leap, to get past the fear and take the leap.
Absolutely.
Do something different.
I think we can stay on the treadmill of life, right? And just kind of, I think there's a big difference between contentment and happiness. And I think you stay on that treadmill for so long, you don't even realize how much you're suffering. And I think as women, I think we tend to, we're caregivers, right?
Yeah.
And we just give and give and give and give. And oftentimes our tank gets so emptied, and we don't often see it until it's really like a big incident in our lives, whether it's a loss of a loved one or a personal health crisis or something like that. So knowing, making this shift, this change in my career, it was really predicated on giving back and creating a space for people where we could gather and showing hospitality. And there's not many places you can do that anymore. Like that third space concept that we hear so much about today of just connecting with one another, putting the devices down, sitting down, genuinely making eye contact with someone and enjoying someone's company. Yeah. It's wine does that. Wine and food brings people together like no other.
And you're amazing. So you have a passion for food pairing.
Yes.
Like it's not just come in here and buy a bottle of wine. It's you get into the nitty gritty with people.
I do.
Not on what are you having for dinner, but what ingredients are in that dinner.
Yeah, that's a great point, because I know some people, especially people that come in for the first time, like, oh, I'm making pork tenderloin. Great. What are you doing with it? What do you mean? What am I doing with it? What are your sides? What are your sauces? What are your seasonings? And they kind of look at me like deer in headlights. And then once we start peeling back the onion layer, if you will, they start getting it. Because if you have something super spicy, that's going to change the wine pairing altogether, right? Yeah. Because spice can actually destroy what's in your glass, and alcohol can make the spice taste even more spicy. So you want to be careful with that. My staff, I think, likes to call me the nutty professor, because I'm always in the back kind of playing with recipes and how they work with the wine. Because at the end of the day, I can't change what's in a bottle of wine. It's unless I make a sangria, right? The bottle is what the bottle is, and it's wanting to share a story about, you know, everything that went into it. And with the food, I can adapt recipes. I can add a little salt, I can add a little spice, I can add some lemon. I can do things with it to change that pairing concept. Yeah. But a fun little pairing we did recently, I was doing little duck rillettes with a little cherry jam and with the Cabernet Franc. And it was the pairing was nice, but it wasn't popping. I went back and did a little orange zest and a little sprinkle of sea salt, and then it just brought it back full circle. So those little touch points. So I have people come in all the time. They'll bring me their full dinner menu, and I'll be like, okay, this goes with this goes with that. And I think it's also important when you're serving others is to also understand their likes and dislikes. So I can certainly make recommendations and show you how to improve that experience. But at the end of the day, I want you to find, you know, great happiness in what you bring home from here. Yes. And but I often have, and I'll say it to your audience too today. A lot of times we love to pair a Riesling with spicy food, with like sushi and Thai. And a lot of people come in, they're like, Riesling. Oh, I get this like deer in headlights look, right? It's so sweet. And I said, well, when you look at it from a pairing concept, that fruit and sweetness actually tamps down the spice. Yeah. And so it's a really cool thing that happens. And oftentimes I've even said, hey, I'll even refund that bottle, because that's how much I believe in this pairing. So yeah. And you're just so good at it. From the event that you hosted for me, to some of my favorite bottles of wine are things that my staff has surprised me with and come in here to pick up from you and shown up with, and I end up loving them. Oh, thank you. So you love the education side. Talk to me a little bit about your classes that you run. I mean, you're amazing. You give such a great history like nobody else. You get into the region more than just like, here's where this is from and why it's cool. Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about the education. So we do a lot. So many people love to travel or dream of traveling. So we love bringing those areas to you directly through the wine glass. You know, so we have classes for wine beginners, wine enthusiasts, as well as people seeking wine qualifications for the professional trade. So on that end, we teach the Wine Spirit and Education Trust courses. That's a program based out of London. So we offer those here as a satellite provider for Vitis House. And then for our regular classes. There's always something going on here at the shop. Recently, we've done some pizza pairing workshops, collaborating with the Sour Street Pizza across the street, which has been really fun. People don't think about pizza and wine. Yes, it's an amazing pairing. I love showcasing that. And believe it or not, you can pair crisp white wine with a pizza. People don't think about that either.
Yeah.
Because crisp white wine works really well with like a tomato, like an acidic tomato sauce. Acid and acid pair very well together.
Yes.
So next time you have maybe a margarita pizza, try maybe a Vermentino or Vernaccia with it. You might really like it. But so fun classes like that. We do Wine 101. This has been, we've been celebrating Virginia Wine Month recently. And so we do a master class almost every month where I break down the history, the region, the culture, the different, wines, what they're known for. And we do pairings with those courses and teach you how to pair those wines with food pairings. So we really run the gamut. Wine 101. We'll do, Maggie just got back from Italy. Krista spent some time in Tuscany last year. So we go to places, we bring those wines back for our customers, and then we actually teach them about that region and showcase that. So a little something for everybody. We also do weekly tasting. So every Wednesday and Saturday, if you're not ready for like a full on like sit down class yet, we have tastings every Wednesday. There are Wine Wednesday tastings. Lasts about 45 minutes. It's guided. And then you can hang around and have a glass of wine and cheese board after. And then every Saturday, we just do a fun social Saturday tasting. Great way to meet your neighbors. Little education, depending, as little as much as you want with that. So, yeah, so lots of great stuff. And the room next door, that's really afforded us an opportunity to expand our offerings and provide more for our community.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So you own a business.
Yes.
And your passion was wine.
Yes.
But you have to get into the business side. What was the biggest surprise that came with owning a business for you?
Biggest surprise. Wow, that is a fantastic question. I think there's a lot of surprise when you get into owning a business.
Well, you've remodeled space.
When you remodel
you've dealt
space,
with the
dealing, city contractors. I think the process, right, in which to open a business and the amount of bureaucracy, with all due respect, there's just a lot of layers.
Well, and you're dealing with alcohol licensing and things like that too.
So it's city, it's state, it's the ABC agency. There's so many layers that go through that process. And, having, I wish when I opened, and there's probably resources out there that I wasn't aware of, because we all go into things from, a passion, right?
Right.
But just more of like kind of that checklist on, okay, what's that next step? And I think it would have saved a lot of time and frustration. And I think the second piece is managing people and also turning not just into wine is my passion, but how do I lead people well?
Yeah.
How do I engage my team, and how do I make them become better leaders and be more engaged in what we do on a day-to-day?
And passionate to share your passion.
Passionate, yeah. So I think getting people, and I've been very, very blessed and fortunate that we have had just incredible people through the years that have worked with us, and we really got our vision of hospitality and connection.
I have friends that work for you.
Yes, I know you do. I know, and it's and that's so important to me. You can teach people. I can teach you about this bottle of wine. I can teach you how to pair wine and food. I can't teach you great customer service skills. And I feel like in today's world right now, people want to connect and they don't know how to.
Yes.
And so I think our concierge services, like that touch point, I know your name. It's kind of like Cheers. We joke around. Like, I know your name. I know what you like. I know what your kid's name is. I know your dog just had surgery. Like, those are the things that separate us as a small business. Yes. And I think over the past few years, really leaning into that because it's about relationships more than anything else. Yeah, so that's really important to me, is to foster that.
Yeah, I hired a young agent years ago who was very surprised that I hired him. And I remember saying to him, very similar, I can teach you real estate, I can teach you sales, I can teach you property management. I can't teach hard work. I cannot teach decency. I can't teach respect. Those are things that I look for in a person. I look for the quality of the person. I'll teach you real estate.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's been eye-opening, I think. And I've been very fortunate in that regard. But you have to continue to level up too, I think, as an owner.
Yes.
What got you here isn't going to get you there for the next 5 or 10 years. So I think constantly investing in yourself.
Yes.
And that's important, I think, too. As women, we don't tend to do that as much as we should.
So true.
And I think that's really important. So for fellow women and business owners, just generally speaking, you gotta put your own oxygen mask on. You gotta fill your cup, because you have to be able to pour not only into your team, but you have to pour into your family and your community. And it's really important to have that energy, right?
So true. So true. We do tend to drain our cup a lot. All right. So I got to brag on you a little bit. Let's go backwards and talking about continuing to level up. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So talk to me about sommelier designations, because I remember as your friend, you traveling to London for a very prestigious designation.
Oh.
And I know you teach them now. So talk to us about how that works and what you went to London for. And
Yeah, it's a lot. It's kind of funny though, because people are like, "Oh, the wine business must be so glamorous. You sit around drinking wine all day." Well, I'm doing this with a friend right now, so yes,
Yes.
but that is not the day to day by any
Yes.
stretch of the imagination. So internationally speaking, there's two main schools for wine professionals. There's a few other designations as well, but the Court of Master Sommeliers, and then you also have the Institute for the Master of Wine, which the WSET program falls under that.
Right.
So a lot of people have heard of Somm. There's a lot of documentaries on the Somm tracks. A lot of people are very familiar with that. I started my journey taking level 1, level 2 through the Court of Sommeliers. And then I found out about the WSET Global Program. And I think as a journalist, that program really intrigued me.
Right.
So I went all in. I kept studying. I took level 3,
lot
and
of
then I started
work.
the diploma program. And so I started it back in 2013, and I finished in 2019. On average, it can take like 3 to 5 years, just depending on how much time you're putting into it. That was just
Right.
like a part-time
Right.
kind of passion project at the time. And so yes, I got my diploma credential with the Wine Spirit Education Trust. I got to go to London to graduate at Guildhall, which was an amazing experience. And there's been roughly a little more than 10,000 now graduates that have completed the diploma designation since the, I think, 1960s. So it
That's
really
not a
is
lot.
no. So it really is a very well-regarded international accolade. I think in our country, the Somm people are kind of focus on Somm because it's easy to say and they've seen the documentaries. But
Right.
they're two different designations. They're both very, very good programs, both kind of best-in-class programs on wine professionals. I find a lot of people that take the WSET track are business owners. It teaches you a lot about the business of wine, which I think is really important. I
Right.
see a lot of winemakers, viticulturalists taking
Yeah.
that program as well. So yeah, so it was a great accomplishment. I was going to sit for the Master of Wine entrance exam back in 2020, and then a little thing COVID happened, right? So,
Yeah.
so I'm still kind of toying with that. But to put it in perspective, I'm one of like the class of about 10,000 or so, and then now for the Master of Wine, I want to say we're just under 400 worldwide. I haven't checked the numbers in a
Wow.
while, but there's a huge drop. So
Yeah.
that is a huge program. So yeah,
is
so
really
and same thing with
awesome.
Master Sommeliers. I mean, literally, there's just a few hundred of both designations, but that's a labor of love and a very big commitment. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's huge.
yeah.
And now you're teaching the classes here so
I
people
am.
can get started even at the very beginning.
At the very beginning, yeah. So we teach level 1 and 2. We rolled out level 3 last year. Level 1 and 2, I think it's important to know it's for an enthusiast as well as someone in the trade. So
Right.
I have a lot of neighbors that have taken level 1 because we focus so much on the chemistry of food and wine pairings. And just
Nice.
like kind of the basics, just understanding how to read a menu when you go to a
makes you a better
restaurant.
host,
Just
too.
makes you a better host, exactly. So I think that's been really successful for a lot of people that just kind of want to dip their toes in, whether
Yeah.
you're an enthusiast or a professional. And then you have a lot of people going to either culinary school or just starting out in the restaurant trade, and they don't have those programs within a lot of restaurants. So being able to
Right.
offer that, and we're still in Hampton Roads specifically, we're the only venue that offers the professional qualifications for the WSET. So that is an incredible
Wow.
honor to be able to do that,
Yeah.
and to share that with others, and to help kind of grow not only the next generation of people in the trade. But also,
Yeah.
help you become a better
Better
host in your own
hostess.
home. Yeah, we all
Yeah.
want to host. I think we get so busy we forget how to.
Well, I think we're craving connection. I think you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Post COVID, we're
Yeah.
craving those connections.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm really inspired by just when people come in and they sit around and they laugh, and I notice that, the phone's nowhere to be found. They're actually hear laughter. I sit here in this room sometimes when I have people in the other space, and I just pause and I'm like, wow, we're creating this space for people to come in and connect and kind of put their cares away. Even if it's for 15, 30 minutes an hour, they're truly connecting. And I've had so many of our clients go, I would have never met so-and-so if I had not, been a
Yeah.
frequent flyer of your place.
Yeah.
And so, yes, while we are a wine and gourmet shop, especially in wine education, we are so much more. We really are a place to connect and to foster hospitality. And, I've always liked that one scripture about, see if I can quote it exactly, but always seek to show hospitality, for you may be entertaining angels unaware. And that's
Yes.
something that
Oh, it's a
always
great one.
just touches my heart, because you don't know what someone's walking through when they come through these
do
doors. You know that I've lost my dad recently, and that was
Yeah.
a huge grief struggle for me. And going through some grief programs and seeing so many people we walk alongside with every single day. Everybody has a story.
It does feel like everybody's battling something these days.
Yeah. And they want that. They want to be understood. They want to be heard. Sometimes they just want to be, a little bit of love. I can't tell you how many people have walked through these doors and like, it's a big hug. It's just, how are you doing today? And you don't get that at the big box stores.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's just totally different.
Yeah.
So you're always looking to the future. What do you see on the horizon?
Oh my goodness.
As a business owner.
As a business owner. So the biggest project we took on recently was obviously the expansion project next door. So we pretty much close to tripled in size. In the past year, we've added our ability to serve wines by the glass, as well as we have a light menu, kind of like a winery style menu, cheese boards, mezza plates. So we offer aperitivo hour, and that's an opportunity for people to come in, kind of your before dinner destination. Come in, have a little snack, connect. We do that during the weekdays and on Saturdays all day. But in terms of growth, this is our solo location right here, but it's been a big passion project on my heart for a long time, and you know this, and I need some accountability, but I started working on a book about pairings, and, so I need to finish that book. So, so awesome. That's a big thing, and also relaunching my own podcast. I used to have a podcast years ago, so I think using some of the human capital that we acquire as business owners and sharing that with others, I think it's important to share our experiences and to share our testimony, right? Because so many people are walking through what we walk through. And,
there were some very nervous years there. Like, do I do this? Do I take it on? I have a family, and we had, you had parents to take care of. I had kids to take care of. It's a financial investment, a time investment. And once you go in, you got to go all in if you're going to succeed. There's no halfway doing a business.
No, there's not. When your HVAC goes down or you have a plumbing issue, like last year we had a plumbing issue. We walked into like an inch of water on the floor in the bathroom, in the back area. And I'm like, okay, so, several hours every day was like, let's call the plumber, let's do this. Oh, is the shop okay for customers tonight? So those are things people don't see behind this. It's behind the scenes. It's really, you see it every day too. It's,
and you and I both navigated COVID years as business owner too.
We did, That was really interesting for us. Everyone, kudos, hats off to anybody who survived COVID as a business, because that was not easy. We opened end of 17. So I think for us, we were just getting our sea legs, 2 years into the business. And then COVID hit. And I was so grateful for my background in media, because we quickly pivoted within a week of closing down, because we were closed. I don't know. It's hard to remember. It's amazing what you forget, I should say. Probably close to a year, like to the public. We did delivery, we did curbside pickup and all of that. But within a week of being closed, I started doing virtual tastings. So a lot of people started doing it. We were one of the first ones to do that. But I credit my media background with that I'm like, we got to keep our community together. So every Wednesday, we did our Wine Wednesday tastings. We started with a 4-pack of wine. Then a few customers were like, I can't drink all that wine. So I said, good point. So then we kept innovating, and we got the little sample bottles. And we'd send you home with the 4-pack of wine and little 2-ounce bottles with little mini cheese plates. And you'd pick it up here and you'd take it home. And the whole community, we'd have like so many little Zoom boxes going up. And remember the word Zoom, right?
Yes. I didn't know what Zoom was before COVID.
So we adapted
We learned very quickly.
But I still have people today, and this is 5 years now, tell me, you really helped keep our community together. We weren't seeing each other. We weren't connecting. We couldn't even go to the beach, right? That was a time that was just, you were in your house. And so being able to do that, it's an awesome privilege, an awesome opportunity and responsibility to be able to do that.
It's a huge responsibility.
It is.
But it's neat, because they were still able to invite you into their home, even if you weren't there.
Exactly. For us, we navigated COVID, and then we're getting back up, and then this road here, pretty anyone that's been in East Beach or down Shore Drive knows that we've had a lot of construction. So we've dealt with about 3 years of off and on road closures, because I've been built up this whole corridor. And you're real estate.
I own property in here.
There was nothing across the street from me for years, and now it's just it's really booming, and the projects are done, which is amazing, and I'm so grateful for that. So grateful I have parking again, and so it's nice to kind of really, I think, when you talk about the future and growth, is just kind of really evaluating where we're at and what's next and what people want, because things are changing so rapidly in our culture. But I think at the heart of it, connection and community, it's going to come back to that every single time, that touch point.
That led me into my next question. I'd say, what would you, if you had a business owner and you had to give them one piece of advice to make them successful or to focus on, but it's that connection.
I would say if you don't have a heart for people, don't run a customer-focused business. A customer-facing business. That's really important. Equip yourself hire the best people you can hire.
Yeah.
You know, putting the right people on the right bus, but on the
Yep.
right seats of the bus, I think is really important.
Totally agree.
And, you know, having a plan, but being flexible with that plan, because as a business owner, when something goes wrong, your day is quickly evolving and changing. So, no, it's, you know, I look back and it's like, you know, would you do it again? It's like, it's a great question. I would do things differently.
Yeah.
And I think all of us would.
Oh yeah, we all look back.
I
we learned those.
I
with
didn't have a business
lessons.
background. This is my like MBA in business, is owning
Yeah.
a business, right? I had the wine knowledge. I think I had the communication skills from being in media, but in terms of like the business acumen, I don't know if I had that, you know, when I first opened. But you grow and you learn. Baptism by fire, right?
Yes.
You get into it, and you know, you get your school from hard knocks. I get the school of hard knocks, I guess. But I think it's, you know, surrounding yourself by people that make you better, that lift you up. And there's, you know, there's great counsel and many advisors. So making sure that you're, you know, dotting your I's and crossing your T's and looking at, okay, you have this plan. Say if someone's out there listening right now and, you know, they want to open their own business. Well, first of all, kudos, hats off to you for having that entrepreneurial vision, because we need more of you. We need more people like that. But really make a strong business plan.
Yeah.
You know, what is that 5-year projection?
Yep.
You know, how many people are you going to need? Do you need bricks and mortar? What does that look like? What does staffing look like? What does inventory look like? Understanding P&L, understanding balance sheets. All of these were like a foreign language to me when I first opened. I'll be honest. It was like, oh, I can
relate
sell
to
wine.
that.
I know wine. You know.
I flew Hawkeyes and I own a real estate brokerage.
Right?
Totally different.
Totally different. So yeah, just because you have skill sets in like your main focal area, surround yourself with people that will help lift you up and kind of compensate in those areas that you lack.
Yeah. I read recently, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so true.
Surround yourself with
It's so
people that
true.
are better than you and where you want to get to.
Yeah. It's so important.
And find that mentorship.
Yeah. Mentorship is so important at any stage in business as you grow, because we all do hit a plateau or become a little stagnant. And I think it's so important to, you know, and also surround yourself with people that are going to give you accountability and a little tough love.
Yes. Tough love is great too.
Whether it's your spouse or like your manager or just, you need a little tough love.
Yeah. I believe in coaching for that tough love.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're coming in Christmas time.
Oh my goodness. Yes. It's here again.
No, it's already
in
here.
this one. Yeah. I'm not going to start singing. You don't want to hear me sing, I bros.
But you do amazing Christmas baskets and offerings. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So we absolutely adore the gifting part of the season. And I think it comes from a place of, it's not about the money you spend, it's about the thoughtfulness.
Yes.
And so we work really hard to craft and curate these really beautiful gifts that tell a story. So the boxes that walk out of here, it has like, we do different themes. Like we have a brunch theme this year. We have an Italian countryside basket. We're doing the wine with the food. We give you a description of every item in your box, recipes, show you how to use the products. And so there's that extra touch point. It's not just like, here you go, here's a bottle of wine, which is perfectly fine, especially if you know what someone likes. But really trying to tell a story through our gifting, I think that's really important to us. And of course, if there's something special you like, we will customize anything that someone's looking for too.
Cool.
But yeah, so it's gifting, I think, is part of that extension of hospitality. My dad always taught me, never go to when you go to someone's house, you should be ringing the doorbell with your elbows.
Oh, I
and
love
so you
that.
never go empty-handed.
Never go empty-handed,
Can be a beautiful, you know, flower display or just a bottle of wine or something, chocolates, but never go somewhere empty-handed. I think for the hosting season, that's a good tip for everybody to remember. That when people invite you, you know,
and
again,
you have
it's
big
not
gifts and small gifts. You
Absolutely.
do corporate gifting, because I've been here for corporate
Yes, we
stuff.
do. Absolutely. So we do host gifts, we do stocking stuffers, host gifts, corporate gifting, and really the baskets themselves range anywhere from $75 up to $300. So there's really something for every price point. And then we do hostess gifts below that $75 mark. So if you're looking to buy, say, 20 gifts, you know, we've got you at that $20, $25 range too. So, you know, depending on where your budget is. So
which I love.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right. Well, I thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
and I was going to
here.
say, anybody entertaining sparkling rosé, maybe we should actually talk about what's in front of us right now for one quick second.
So tell us what we have.
So sparkling rosé, if you know me, you know that I love bubbles and I love sparkling rosé. And for me, especially the holiday time, it is one of the most versatile pairings you can have. So when you're entertaining and you have like 10 different things out for people to enjoy, that high acidity is going to kind of cleanse your palate in between bites. It's fruity, it's festive. This is the King family from Virginia. So we've been celebrating Virginia all month. King family has a French winemaker, Mathieu Finot, and this is a little blend of Chardonnay and Petit Verdot in this. But super, that beautiful red fruit, a little pastry crust. It goes great
It's
with.
amazing, by
Goes
the way.
great
I've
with
already tasted
brunch.
it.
Isn't it so good? It goes great with brunch. So any
Okay.
kind of Sunday brunch, think of like salmon, quiches, frittatas. It's also great with like truffle chips, truffle almonds, salty snacks,
Oh.
brie and a little brie en croûte and raspberry preserve. So
Speaking my language.
anyhow, anytime you go to someone's house, bring a bottle of sparkling rosé. We're happy to equip you with that because it's a great thing for entertaining. So
I
yeah,
love it.
Yeah.
Well, cheers.
Cheers to my dear
Thank you
friend
for
Amy.
having
Thank
us.
you for having me today. Cheers
And
to you.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Dispatch on Purpose with Crystal Cameron Schaad. We are so excited that you joined us. Make sure you come visit her this holiday season. Come get your hostess gifts and your corporate gifts. And thank you again. And join her classes because you will learn so much and it's amazing. Stay tuned to us. Make sure you like and follow us on Spotify, on YouTube, and all your local streaming channels. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again.